Hey, that's how I'm gonna start every video from now on.
Fonz now?
Hey, I'm the creepiest Fonz. Hey, I'm the Crypt Keeper Fonz. Just a skeleton in a leather jacket. Hey, welcome to SJU. Dan, Billy, Danielle. I'm Joe. Remember how the other day I was like, I can't remember the last time I watched a movie trailer and actually had a reaction to it beyond, that looks neat. Today, that theory has been tested because about 30 seconds ago, I finished the Avengers Endgame trailer, and I'm really glad that you had all just walked out of the room because I went, ah, like that.
With the expressionless face attached to it.
I don't emote well. There's a reason why I shunted to this and not acting. Hey guys, Avengers Endgame. What'd you think?
What a nice surprise to wake up to.
Yeah.
Usually we kind of have a whiff that these things are coming. I don't know about you guys. I just woke up and it was like trending. I was like, whoa, what a nice little surprise.
It was here.
Yeah.
I woke up to links of reactions, so that's how I knew that.
Like, what time do you guys get up?
I
like
think
Greg
that there's
Alba,
some kind
go
of
to
a
sleep.
bat phone that's like, yeah,
Right?
like Greg Alba's like 6 o'clock this morning.
Get up now! I do love the idea of the Real Rejects just Paul revering across the internet. The end game is coming! The end game is coming!
Hurry! 1 if by land, 2 if by internet.
Quick, JT, get your movie things. They're coming.
JT's real just like chugging coffee and trying to think of what pose it's gonna be. I don't know! Too much pressure! Dan, did you like it?
I did like it. I did because it reminded me they didn't do it. Mara actually had this thought this morning, and I thought it was a really good one. It reminds me of The Force Awakens in the sense that the trailer is very different. The Force Awakens trailer showed a lot, but I walked into the movie, I knew nothing about the movie. I didn't know know anything really, and I feel like this is similar in the sense that it didn't show a lot, but it did its job. And I don't know anything about the movie, which is great. I still don't know anything about the movie. I know nothing about it.
You know
Wonderful.
what we know? We know at some point Black Widow grows her roots out, and that's very nice. That is one thing that we know about this.
Spoilers.
Oh,
I was trying not to look at hair during the trailer. But I agree. I think it did its job. It got us stoked. I know that I love Paul Rudd, like in his weird. I'm hoping this is a weird 28 days later when he just wakes up and is like, what happened?
Yeah.
And is just wandering around. I love that Clint listened to Korn for the first time and got a dope haircut.
Apparently the haircut is dividing the internet. I mean, shocking that something divides the internet like a hairstyle, but I like it. I
like it.
I think that does something that like a lot of movies don't do, especially lately, where it's like, I now know exactly what's going on with Clint just by looking at him. I can tell he's been through something, and he's trying to evolve a little bit to like move past it just by a haircut. Instead of like movies that just tell me like, this guy's sad, and he's strong, and he's powerful, and he's in revenge. It's like, well, show me that.
Yeah. I just wish he would smile more. Was that Kate Bishop?
I don't know.
Was he training Kate Bishop?
I think it was Kate Bishop. Who is not Hawkeye's daughter in the show. We should say who Kate Bishop is. So Kate Bishop was part of the Young Avengers. She does go by Hawkeye. Her and Hawkeye have teamed up, although in the comics she is not Hawkeye's daughter. But who knows? These are the movies. So
that also might not
matters.
be maybe he lost his maybe the farm got snapped, and that's why he shaved the sides of his head. And now he's just moving on. I don't know.
Yeah, he's
There's something crazy's going on.
It could be like one of those situations where I feel like that might have happened in The Leftovers or something, where it's like, well, you're a kid without a family, and I got all this farm.
Yeah.
You probably need somewhere to eat and stuff.
Now get to plowing. Grizzled Hawkeye. I like that.
No Thanos, which is kind of interesting. Like, we know he's going to be in it, but no sign of him, like barely a sign of him in the first trailer.
Yeah.
What if he isn't?
It's just not in the movie?
Yeah. What if the last time we see Thanos is him just like, I did a good job?
That would be
I did
amazing.
good work today.
I mean, a villain who just gets what they... I mean, that's the thing. It's like, we don't know exactly what their mission is. Is it just to undo what he did? Or is it to, like, stop him and bring him to justice? Because if it's just to undo it, that would be amazing.
He doesn't have to be involved.
He's just like, guys, I did my part.
I did.
See you later.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a lot of weird options. Are they going into a stone? Are they going into the quantum realm? It looked like everybody had cool what themed suits on for whatever specialized mission this is. And if there's one comic book thing I love, it's when a
love
team
that
has
shit, by the way. That's my favorite
Oh
shot
yes,
of the
yes, yes,
trailer.
yes.
Gritty Captain
Just-
America.
Yes.
I love
Yeah,
that.
Super
that is
white
awesome.
teeth.
Very, very
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
That was part of the serum.
Yeah. It's always just beautiful.
Dental also.
I'm just stoked about themed costumes for everybody for a specific mission.
I could be wrong here. The comments will definitely let me know if I am. But I feel like
what they
that
do.
might have been a part of. They've drawn a lot, especially in Infinity War 2, from Jonathan Hickman's Infinity run.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like maybe that's part of the suit because I have this image in my head of Gamora in a very similar looking suit.
From the comics.
Right. It all kind of blends together to me at a certain point. But I feel like, and we'll have a video coming out soon where we actually draw from the panels of Infinity War and show what they grab stuff from. But I feel like Hickman's run in Infinity, which is very dense, but
It is the Chris Nolan of Avengers.
like you need to have a PhD to really understand it, but it's worth checking out, especially a lot of things from these movies have been pulling from that run specifically.
Yeah.
And I think that doesn't really give us an insight into what's going to happen here, but it's cool, it's something new, sell some more toys.
I just like that at this point before, because I'm assuming this will be the last trailer.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. At this point, going into Infinity War, you knew there was going to be a big battle in Wakanda. You knew roughly who was going to fight with each other. You knew that Thanos was going to get all the jewels and throw a moon at somebody. There were certain things about the movie that you knew. You were waiting for these moments. You know that the third act is going to be this huge Wakanda battle, and it's. And I love that I know nothing. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to
They're
happen.
sticking to their guns on only showing
footage
footage from the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, I'm sure some of that footage is not from the first.
Maybe
20
the gritty battle at the end, but for the most part, I think that
Yeah, it's half a cram it. That's half of this trailer is a credit.
I love that though. I think it shows incredible restraint on their part, and it makes me think the fact that it's less is more. The less they show me, the more I think something big is coming.
Yeah.
They just restraint. They don't. They could literally show us nothing.
Yeah.
and
They
people
could,
would
but
still
but
show up.
To your point with Infinity War, we were in the same boat. They could have just showed me everyone standing together eating shawarma again, and I would have been like, "This is going to be the best movie ever made."
Yeah.
But they did. They sold you on the scope of it. This, they're like, we don't need to tell you anything.
Yeah, we're selling you on mood. We're selling you on stakes, and that's it.
And Captain Marvel.
And Captain
Yeah,
Marvel,
Captain
which
Marvel.
we knew she was going to show
Yeah.
up, so that was just a nice little yay.
I'm glad she stopped by the Mac counter on her way to the Avengers compound.
I wonder if did they just say we need to find the scene where she does the absolute least of anything in the movie. I get it, but still, it's she literally stands there.
And I don't know, and that could be just in service of, hey, there are still probably 5 people who haven't seen Captain Marvel yet, so they don't want to maybe show too much that they think might feel spoilery.
Yeah.
But nope. It's just her being real cool.
Yeah.
Talk about Fonzieing it up. That's great.
Yeah, if someone throws an axe next to my face, I'm gonna flinch a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That was.
And they didn't cut to Goose the Cat being like, eh.
Look, we talk a lot about, especially on the show, about the kind of the mold of these Marvel trailers, where the first one will sell a certain tone and then the second one, and it's I knew a button was coming, but in terms of jokey buttons, this is the most dialed down one possibly that there could. Yeah, it's all right, we're good. Let's
Which
go.
I was still down with.
Yeah.
That was all I needed was just Thor and Carol just not doing the will they get along or won't they? Are they gonna fight other Marvel team ups? But just definitely I don't know, kind of sizing each other up a little bit.
Yeah.
I dug that. I thought it was a fun
It's smart
touch.
at this point because there's no if they went down the path of are they gonna get along? It's who cares? There's so much bigger stakes at this point. You're wasting your time if they had gone that storyline, which it looks like they're not.
I don't need to know if Thor was going to give her 5 for flinching in case it didn't.
Right?
But overall, yeah, I'm pretty stoked. You guys seem stoked as well.
Surprised the
I don't wanna
tickets
put
didn't
stoked
go
in your
on sale
mouth,
with
but-
this. I thought that this would be like tickets on sale now because immediately I saw the trailer at launch and before I even watched it, I went on Fandango to see if I could get tickets. Usually that's what they do.
Yeah.
They know they got us by the balls at this point.
At this
Yeah.
point.
Is it available on Movie Pass?
Nothing is available.
The Blavengers starring.
I could go see. Like Nobody's Full in a dollar theater on Movie Pass. I think that's about what they're offering at this point.
Oh, Movie Pass. Before we jump into story number 2, which is more Marvel, some actually really cool additional Marvel news. This has been a big Marvel week. Just pitching it right now. Check out Movie Fights Live today at 4 over on the main channel. It's Billy.
I brought evidence, guys. I brought it to this show to hype. Sometimes I tell stories.
Ooh.
Feel like people don't believe that my stories are true. Grab my DVD.
Did you find it?
I grabbed a
This
screen
is-
grab
okay.
of The Blur.
Oh, wow, yeah.
JT, put up picture 2. There it is.
Oh, man. Yeah, that looks terrible.
Yeah, it looks really bad. When I
Wait,
was-
so that they thought looked better than the fact that the shirt was kind of open a little bit?
Like,
Yeah.
could you just
They
see
look-
Leonardo's face?
So to be fair, for most of the show, there's like a lower third chyron that has something
Yeah.
on it. But this was a moment that I pulled where it was like, if you're wondering why he's making that beautiful face, it's because everyone was doing their impression of Khan.
Oh, okay.
And that's what it looked like when there was nothing on.
Is it Sesame Street? What's the background? Why are there just numbers floating around
So
in
it's
the background?
it's a top 10 countdown show.
Oh,
so the
I
idea
see.
was the
Got
numbers
it.
were always floating in the
Yes,
background.
okay.
But yes, it looked. I was not a fan.
I
but-
mean, I just, that's the magic of this show is, at first glance, you're like, oh, Dan Christian getting back in the ring, throwing head to, but then Billy comes in with the personal vendetta.
I've been holding on to this for 6 long years
Yeah.
of no one caring.
You didn't even let me book anyone else. You were just like, I have a score to settle. And I was
This
like, why
has
are you
to
being so
happen.
raspy?
Like, why are you talking in Christian Bale voice? Because it's important, Joe.
I will continue to advocate for the fact that the real villain in this is the head of whatever studio that demanded that 24 hours be done to fix a shirt he didn't like.
He's a guest
He's the real
judge, Dan.
Good.
So make sure you check that out today at 4. Also, check out our own Danielle Radford did a really cool piece
Yeah.
on Monica Rambeau, a.k.a. Photon?
Photon and many other names. So yeah, I've got a little bit of an explainer in there for people who are wondering who that cute kid was in Captain Marvel. You talk about a little bit of her history in the comics. Got some great quotes from Lashana Lynch about like ideas for possible futures in the MCU. So
on.
go read it. I wrote a bunch of words.
Go check it out. It's over on fandom.com. Story number 2. I am pumped about this. Marvel's ShangChi has found a director. This is Viva Variety. There are just some bits I'm never going to let go. I'm sorry. This is my owl.
Yes.
Marvel Studios has hired Destin Daniel Cretton to direct Shang-Chi, its first superhero movie with an Asian protagonist. He is currently directing Just Mercy, starring Brie Larson and Michael B. Jordan. Dave Callaham is writing the script that will ultimately modernize the Shang-Chi story and character arc. So I'm stoked about this. If you don't know Shang-Chi, he's a half Chinese, half American superhero created by Steve Englehart and Jim Starlin. He's a master of just tons of wushu. He's the master of kung fu. It's very self-explanatory. He's a badass. That's the power set is in his name.
Yeah, he fights real good. And originally, his dad was Fu Manchu because. So an interesting thing about how they came to this, they were originally going to try to buy the rights to Kung Fu, the TV series, and they
Starring
said
David Carradine.
starring David Carradine, Walk the Earth Like Cain. That's where some of y'all youngins would know that from. That was that reference, and they refused. They did have the rights to Fu Manchu, and so then they created this character who's Fu Manchu's son. They lost the rights to that character, so then they had to go back and say, oh no, it's this other dude.
Yep.
Not that guy at all.
The weird early days of Marvel Comics.
And in some, I think later, and I don't know if he still does, but in later iterations, aside from being able to fight real good, best in the world or whatever, he could also make clones of himself, almost Jamie Maddox style. So there'd be multiple of him. multiple men.
Yeah, it's a kung fu thing.
Yeah, it's a
I
kung fu
think
thing.
he shows up in that Jim or Jonathan Hickman Infinity series. Like, I think he's just kind of a supporting character, but I think that's the first time I'd even like heard of that character. I think Marvel does a great job of bringing in characters that you've never heard of. Maybe like, you know, the quote unquote C-listers. I mean, remember Iron Man was not
Iron Man was a
household name.
C-lister.
He was a C-lister for
In
sure.
an age of X-Men, no one cared about Tony Stark.
Right.
Yeah.
So people are like, yeah, if you could make a tree and a raccoon, I'm like, man, if they could make Iron Man at that point, the same summer that Batman is coming out,
Yes.
like the most anticipated Batman, and people were still talking about Iron Man at that point, no one saw that coming. So they definitely have the benefit of my ignorance, I guess, of this character.
Sure.
Like, I'm looking forward to another person.
I'm excited for a little Iron Fist redemption. That was regardless of character and blah 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 and whatever you think about Danny Rand, just the pure execution of a martial arts TV show under Marvel's banner was just not good. So I'm really excited to see them do Marvel's take on a wushu movie on the big screen. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I know nothing about ShangChi, so I have no. I was just like, oh, cool.
Look,
Okay.
I think the biggest strength of Shang-Chi, and especially selling him to like a wide audience, is that he's literally Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. And it's right there. You now pretty much know everything you need to know about Shang-Chi.
All right.
It's
I like Kung
interesting,
Fu.
like how. I mean, look, all this is speculative at this point because, like, nothing, like, Marvel hasn't even officially announced this. We know it's happening, obviously,
Right.
but it's like, what does that Phase 4, if we're even still calling them phases anymore,
Right.
like look like? It's like we know Black Widow is coming, and Shang-Chi, and Eternals. Like, it looks like we're going a lot deeper into Marvel, probably because maybe some of the big guys won't be around.
Yeah, well, you'll definitely have a Black Panther 2.
Oh, Black Panther,
Yeah.
obviously.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man,
Far From
yeah,
Home.
Far From
Yeah.
Captain
Home.
Marvel. Those are the three definites that we know.
Strange,
Are gonna
maybe?
be potentially. I think they have a Doctor Strange 2. I think being developed. So Doctor Strange,
Yeah, because that timeline that we had kind of before, I feel is all squidgy now.
some kind of Guardians,
Yeah.
maybe at some point.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I mean, I know he said that it's not like a huge priority right now, but
Yeah.
they're still working on his script.
Yeah, they're still working on it.
I'm fine with them breaking out some Guardians to go on some like with some like Thor Ragnarok style. I think Thor Ragnarok proved like, oh, let's mix and match a little bit now.
Yeah.
I'm fine with like Rocket and Groot going on their own adventure, doing something.
Yeah, and likewise, Nebula sticking around as one of Earth's mightiest heroes as just this like hateful, like
Right.
piece of trash. Sounds fun to me.
I'm a mean robot, and I'm
Yeah.
here to save the Earth.
Well, she's like the Damian Wayne of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Like, you have
Yeah,
to like
good call.
rein her in a little bit. Like, hey, you can't just kill people just because you don't like them. Like,
Yeah.
you have to show some restraint a little bit.
And she's like, "What?" And then
Yeah.
does that head cock she does. That I love. So this is really cool news. Very excited about this. I'm back on the Marvel shill train, you guys. Super pumped about that trailer. Super
Cash
pumped
that
about
check.
Shang-Chi.
Cash that check.
Cashing that check.
You know, between paying all the shills on the internet and buying out all the empty theaters, how does they even have any money?
Yeah, I don't know.
Star Wars land, Dan.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
land.
Specifically why they opened it. Pay us off.
Very deep petty cash.
But there's another Star Wars movie coming out this year, which means the
Oh.
chunk of that's going to go back to us. We're so rich.
I'm so
Look
rich.
at me. Don't I just exude wealth and
Yeah.
That's why I only wear the same 6 dresses, Dan, because I'm humble.
Yeah, that's why I wear this dragon shirt that doesn't actually fit. Yeah, you know what I heard is that they are taking all of the Fox employees and giving them bonuses, which means they are just walking them into a liquefier and turning them into candy bars and then selling them to the public, and that's where that's where most of their money to buy out all these theaters to save Captain
Sounds
Marvel
like
is
the
coming
Judge
from.
Doom plot from Who Framed Roger
It
Rabbit.
absolutely is Disney dip. Remember me?
Sorry, I'm laughing too much today.
When I shield for SJWs. Also very excited about story number 3. The hype train is real today on SJU. Isn't it fun? We're all just excited about things. New Alien short films. This is via To Her. The Alien franchise is approaching its 40th anniversary. So 20th Century Fox is inviting a new generation of filmmakers to play with xenomorphs and other Weyland-Yutani Corporation IP for a series of 6 online short films. I think this is brilliant. First of all, I'm very excited about this. This is the best way to continue, to me, the Alien franchise. More than 550 submissions were received from creators looking for the chance to add to the mythology launched by Ridley Scott's original '79 movie about Nostromo, leading to 6 final projects being offered keys to the franchise. This is by far the best version of the Doritos Super Bowl commercial competition that ruins all of our friends' lives on an annual basis.
Do they still do it? I know for a while I had friends that labored for weeks to enter the
give Doritos a free commercial.
To give Doritos a commercial.
I'll name my kid after you if you vote for my Doritos commercial. I'm like, I don't know who you are. I think we met once.
Doritos!
Are you getting a cut of the? No.
Nope. It is the biggest copy credit scam of all time. Doritos. I like Cool Ranch. I think I just lost as a possible sponsor. I'm sorry, guys.
And that's like the whole Frito-Lay's company, man. Thanks
son
a
of
lot.
I really just screwed up.
Pepsi,
Buy Pepsi.
Taco Bell, KFC, Doritos.
Pizza Hut?
Well, while we're at it, Taco Bell, bring back volcano sauce. What the hell's wrong with you? You have the perfect sauce.
Volcano sauce.
You never had
great.
volcano
It was
sauce?
great. Yeah.
What the hell
Oh, it
is
was so
volcano
good.
sauce?
It was
was-
just the perfect hot sauce. It
It
was
was
chef
the
kiss.
best excuse for indigestion and heartburn
Yeah.
that a person
man.
could ask for.
It was good. It did taste like a Bond villain was living inside your tummy, but it was so worth it, Dan. The Alien shorts, will be released weekly online by IGN beginning on March 29th, before then being added to alienuniverse.com and at the Alien Anthology social media channels. So I guess that's Twitter, Instagram, and then there will be a lot of behind-the-scenes content coming May 5th. So these are debuting at Emerald Comic Con this week in Seattle. These are just going to be really cool. I kind of don't want to. I haven't read the descriptions of them yet, so I kind of don't want to read them. If that's okay with you guys, I kind of just want to say the titles and
That's
not
like
know
3
anything about
minutes
them.
long of things.
Well, I don't like reading, and I think if Billy's gonna trick me, it's somewhere in here. But also, I just don't want to spoil these. Alien. The titles are Alien: Alone, Containment, Harvest, Night Shift, and Specimen.
Now, is Alien Night Shift? Please tell me that stars Michael Keaton and Henry Winkler in space. That's the right movie, right? Night Shift? Yeah?
I would also watch Alien Night Court.
Oh my God. Yes.
Alien Up All Night.
Oh,
I mean,
a very lewd Alien series.
What was the guy from Prometheus, the architect? Is that what they were called?
Yes.
He and Bull do share a striking resemblance.
So the directors are Noah Miller, Chris Redding, Benjamin Houdshell, Aidan Bresnick, the Spear Sisters, cool, and Kelsey Taylor. So those are going to be really cool. I personally don't want to read through the plot descriptions because I want to just go into these cold. If that's cool with you guys. I think these are rad. What other franchises should do stuff like this? We've talked a little bit about Paramount not being cool with fan films. Like, should they just start licensing cool stuff like this instead?
Well, I think it's a tricky balance because yes,
For Trek
you don't want to.
specifically.
Trek has had a very long and storied history that continues to be written about fan films. Star Wars, Lucasfilm, very accepting of fan films. It's a weird balance because yes, you don't want to give away your IP for free.
Right.
But at the same time, I think that if people want to make something inspired by something else that you own or make, I don't understand. I mean, it should be pretty clear what the difference is between someone stealing your intellectual property.
Yes.
And
celebrating it
and making a fan film. And yes, there are lines about, well, what if they make money? Should they be allowed to profit off of it? That's where you have to ask questions. But I love the idea of just sanctioning people and saying, like, yes, please do. We'd love to see them. We'll feature them. Like, that's a great idea. I think that's a great balance to strike. Everybody wins.
Yeah. I think this is a great way to get a community just going creatively. 550 submissions. That's really cool. Like the idea of 550 different rooms sitting around being like, what is our coolest 6-minute take on the Alien franchise? That's really, really exciting to me. And to your point, Dan, there was a Mortal Kombat fan series on YouTube, and Warner Brothers said, this is great. We're buying it. And now it's the official. I think there are really smart ways to approach stuff like this, and really bad ways. But I don't know. What are some other IPs you guys think could really succeed doing something like this?
Weirdly, sticking with video games, I think Legend of Zelda would be something that would be really good.
Just different short films looking at the world?
Yeah, different short films where you get to explore the world. I think it's also an easier one for people because it's so much outdoors. You don't have to worry about doing too much. A lot of it's just a dude in a weird hat walking in the woods.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's something that I would be interested in because especially with the way that the time works where every game is almost like a reboot or something different. Only a few of them are in the same time or continuity or whatever. Plus I just like Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these could be they could be standalone, they could be their own thing, not tied to any other continuities. Yeah, that could be really fun.
I would say I think it'd be cool to do something more with the IMF and Mission Impossible because in those movies it's like, man, every time something horrible happens, only 4 people ever go to these things. And we got Sawyer from Lost for half a second, and one of them do it being an agent. But I think there's other cool IMF stories that you could do, maybe some smaller missions. I mean, even if they were really good, you could use it as a prologue or preamble into one of the newer Mission Impossible movies. Kind of like the Final Flight of the Osiris was a really cool short film for The Matrix that led right into Matrix Reloaded. Something like that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, the Animatrix.
Oh, so
my
good.
most used DVD of college. God, I watched that thing a lot. Dan?
I think I only watched it one time. I'm trying to think. I think those are both great ones. I think it should just really be something that fans. It's a world I like Mission Impossible because it is. It's a huge world that you've seen a little tiny snapshot of. This is a small piece of what's going to be a bigger picture.
I'd love to see the admins. Just show me who the people who work in the because someone's got to make those calls, right? Show me the people who work in the office. I would watch an office style where
for IMF.
Someone's got to build the faces. You guys.
Well, and I love people that have done them for things there's so many, but things like Walking Dead or something where you are concentrating on a small group of people, but there are literally millions of potential other stories that are out there. I think that's the advantage of being able to make these things is you can kind of say hey, yeah, you can riff around it and you can do these things. And plus I like the idea of alternative takes like Dirty Laundry when they brought Thomas Jane back do an actual Punisher type, not that his movies weren't, but a gritty super violent Punisher thing. I like that too, the idea that you can bring an alternate take to something and do a different feel or riff on it.
Give it a slightly
I think
spin.
that's fun too, and sometimes those are shut down, and sometimes they're allowed to thrive. And did Marvel lose any money by allowing Dirty Laundry to exist and become popular on the internet?
No. If anything else, it got people re-energized about Punisher.
About the Punisher, yeah.
Leading up to being very energized when John Bernthal was cast for the Netflix series.
Yeah.
Definitely
it's also cool that these filmmakers get to play in a world that obviously they love, but it's and now your idea, your thing is part of canon of this bigger
That's right.
world.
Yeah.
That's
really
so cool. That would blow my mind. Me and my friends, when we were kids, we used to make Star Wars or Indiana Jones movies in our backyard or at the park would be, the Forest of Doom, It's what if my stupid Indiana Jones and the Forest of Doom at Woodward Park in Fresno, California was an official Indiana Jones adventure? How cool would that be?
Yeah, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
I think Warner Brothers has the Dungeons and Dragons license, and I think while they figure out their take on it, shorts is a way to go. That's a great way to test new and up and coming filmmakers that you're interested in. There's literally no right way to do. Just like Zelda, there's a million different continuities. There's a million different worlds. There's a million things you can do with it. So I think that would be a cool thing to do to sort of raise awareness with the fact that they have that license, for film. And then, Marvel did the one-shots. But I think a cool way to maybe slowly introduce the X-Men in is what if they did the same thing? They brought in, they asked for pitches from filmmakers, and each of the filmmakers they finally selected got to play around 10 minutes to introduce each of the new X-Men, like the actual actors they've cast. I think that could be a fun way to introduce everybody. Maybe they're just at Pixar shorts in front of films.
I mean, something like this too. It's like you hear a lot of times, especially with like big franchises and big things. It's like we want to give back to the fans, and you're like, what does that mean? It's like, oh, we're putting out a DVD for you to spend $80. We're giving back to you. But I really do feel like this is a way to like. I really feel like, as corny as it may sound, like this Alien thing is like giving back to the fans. It's like you guys have followed us through some not so great movies, but you've always like shown up, and now we're giving you a chance to like be a part of what we do. It's like very inclusive, which is very hard to do with some of these big franchises, to make the fans feel like they're a part of it without like taking over it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And letting it be meaningful, because sometimes it's like we're giving back means we, I don't know, gave you shirts or something, but like this is like a meaningful, like, oh cool, you're giving us this cool, really cool project that I get to watch and enjoy and like sort of help me fall in love with this franchise again and remind me of why I liked it in the first place. And so I think that's really, really cool. Fun, positive day all around today on Screen Junkies
Good
Universe.
Thursday.
Good Thursday. Good Thursday. Oh, sorry, we have breaking movie pass news.
No, we don't.
I mean, there was. I was reading about it yesterday, but it's nothing new. It's just
Are they
catastrophe.
they're just hemorrhaging worse than expected.
Just like they reported things lost millions of more dollars than they had let on and made less, and it just was. It's just all
So
on
guys,
fire.
like we said, nothing but positive news here on SJU today. That's our show. Thank you guys so much for being with us. We'll be on Main live 4 o'clock. Dan Merle, Billy Business, and blurred shirt Christian Harloff.
Hashtag the blur.
Hashtag the blur. We'll see you guys then. See you tomorrow. Bye.